Interior designers often reach out to me asking me for advice on how to grow their business, and today I want to talk with you about the top 2 things that I see that they need help with. I'm Michelle Dirksey, an interior designer based here in Seattle, Washington, and in this series I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about interior design. I'm fortunate to have had my business for 11 years. I'm also fortunate to be a size that I like and have projects that I like, but it was not always the case. And it boils down to 2 things that got me to where I'm at today. The first thing is marketing. At first, I got almost all of my projects from Google search. I don't think clients get projects from Houzz anymore, but I do think it's important that you register with platforms and register with Google Places. So registering with Google Places is so easy and critical. It tells Google that you exist and that they should pay attention to you. By registering with Google Places, you don't actually have to give the location that you're at. So you'll tell Google your location and they'll send you like a postcard to confirm it. I don't even remember the process. I know that I'm not tech savvy and I was able to figure it out. So whatever the process is now, even though they're sending it to your address or confirming your address, you can make it so that your address is not shown to the public. So if you're starting out and working from home, you should still register with Google Places so that Google knows that you are an interior design entity and that you matter and that they should tell people about you when someone Googles interior design. I think the first place to invest is in great photos from a professional interiors photographer. And an interiors photographer is much different than a real estate photographer. A real estate photographer is used to showing the expanse of the room, blowing it out, making it look as bright as and big as possible in a fisheye lens, and you don't want that. You want an interiors photographer. And a great place to start in finding a good interiors photographer is to look at your local magazines. So here in Seattle, I looked at Seattle Magazine, Seattle Met, and Gray Magazine, and I looked at which photographers they were hiring or were noted in their interiors projects. At the time, the photographer that I found was in all of those magazines, and so I reached out to him thinking that he knows the style that those magazines want, he knows how to shoot for them, so if I hire him, I'm gonna get great photos and I'm gonna get a chance to get into those magazines, and it worked. I was able to get into Gray Magazine, Seattle Met, Seattle Magazine, they're different, within the first 3 years of my business. Having those great professional photos will also allow you to have a great Instagram and a great website. So a great website is everything, and that brings me to my next thing. Websites, you must have a great looking website and an easy to use website. So many of our clients aren't super tech savvy, and so my goal is to make the website as easy to use as possible. So rather than just having a contact page with a form that they go to, our contact is at the bottom of every page. They don't have to get confused. There's no question of how to contact us. It is on every single page at the bottom, and it's also on the contact page. And on the contact page, there are 2 different ways. So there's not going to be a question of how to contact us because you don't want that to stand in the way of someone actually contacting you. We also have a great portfolio that we have a preview of on the landing page, big photos, it's a slideshow, and then within the portfolio section, I divided it into projects and again, making it user-friendly. So click on the photo to see all of the photos for that project, or click on the text to see all of the photos for that project. Like, making it impossible to make a mistake is my goal, and my graphic designer brother doesn't always agree with some of the layout requirements for that, but at the end of the day, I want people to be able to see our work and it to be super easy to do so. I want coming to our website to be a good experience, an easy experience, because that's what I want them to think it's going to be like to work with us, because it is. The other thing for marketing, kind of related to photos, is stage for the project that you want. When I first started out, I was so nervous to bring in something that didn't reflect my client's style for the photo shoot. I want it to be true and authentic, and who cares about that anymore? Like, I want you to make a project that is true and authentic to you as a designer, which may not be 100% true and authentic to that particular project, but it's about you and your portfolio. So for example, let's say that the project was, all neutrals and the client loved neutrals, but your portfolio is missing color and you really want more projects with color. Bring in colorful artwork, bring in pillows that are colorful and props that are colorful so that you can show that mix. You get that one step closer to the projects that you want more of. Also, don't be afraid to cheat. So cheating means, like my last photo shoot, I brought a U-Haul. full of stuff. I brought an 8-foot tall tree, a ton of planters, at least like 3 giant IKEA bag size equivalents of pillows, 40 vases probably, I don't know, like 20, like so many things. And I'm fortunate enough that I have a team that can help me with that. But even when it was just me, I still had that U-Haul. I was taking, items from my friends and family, going to the library to borrow coffee table books. Hustle, make it happen, find those things that will really finish the project and amp it up so that it doesn't just look like a beginner project. It has all of those little nuances that make it special and reflect you and your style. I think if you nail these things, you register with Google Places, you've got a great looking website that's easy to use, and you're getting photos that are professional and staged the way that you want for the projects you want. I don't even know that you have to spend money on advertising. Like, I've advertised in magazines because I want to support them, but I've never gotten a client from it. I've paid for Google to suggest me as a search result, and I only did it once because my SEO was so good it wasn't worth it. So registering with Google Places was just as valuable as having done that. The only thing I would maybe consider is if you have a great photo on your Instagram page that you want more of that style of project, maybe dedicate $100 or something. Like, maybe sponsoring an Instagram photo now and again is worth it, but I don't even know. Instagram is changing so much, and sometimes I think if you do one sponsored photo, it changes their algorithm for you and they'll only show your work if you pay. So I have no idea if that works, but I know that those other items that I mentioned are tried and true, and you should do that. The next area is systems. So when you're first starting out, it's just you. You know everything, you've got it memorized, you don't need to write it down. Maybe you've only got 3 projects, so of course you're gonna remember that detail. But when you're first starting out, it's critical that you use that time, because you have more time when you're first starting out, to build those organization systems and tracking systems so that you're set up for when you want to bring on employees. An example, what do I mean by that? At my company, we have a document that is all of our vendors that we work with. In that document, it's just a Google Share document. Super easy, share it between team members. Anyone can update it. And so it will have, the name of the vendor, how to contact them, our account number, our account login and password, what our discount is with them, any other random notes like these people always, half the stuff we order ends up damaged, but we still keep ordering from them and they fix it, just like things to look out for so that, when you order from them again in 10 years when it's just you, or when your 8 new employees order from them, they know how to and where the information is. So don't just have it scattered in your email inbox. Like, start to compile it and put it into a document. Other organizational documents that we have are simple, just like, project tracking. What are all the clients that we have and they're open and their status? What was their design fee retainer? What is their hourly price? What is their markup? Again, when you're working by yourself, you just know that, or you just reference the contract. But when you have a team, you need it organized in one place so that your operations manager has it ready to go. For purchasing, when I first started out, again, just me, it's like just using Excel and putting, the item in there and the dimensions and details and then the marked up price. As you grow, you're gonna have someone else doing that for you. And so you need to have a system so that you can check their work. So once I hired someone, we expanded that Excel document to show the purchase price and the marked up price. And the client didn't see, even though it's in our contract and they know that we do it, they didn't see our purchase price just because they just need to know the price that they're paying. But as the boss who's checking the work, I need to be able to look at what our purchase price was and the markup so that I can see that the final price we're charging the client is correct. As we continued to grow, we leveled that up. So my team actually asked that I get Studio Designer, not sponsored, and I've never used it. I don't know how to use it. I don't want to learn it because I don't need to know. But my team uses it and they've found it helpful because they can enter an item and then use that item again just by the click of a button for a different client's purchase proposal. So it's a way for us to avoid duplication of work. Like, we enter the information one time, then it's ready to go again. Of course, we have to look out for if the details of the item are changing, we have to update that. We do have to make sure that we get current pricing for it, but it just saves us a step and helps us stay organized. So we have in one place a compiled list of all the things we've suggested, all the things that have been purchased, and details for that. File management. Isn't this glamorous? Like these are like so fun. So for file management, what I mean by that is that, we have Musebox, maybe use Dropbox, but you don't just use your desktop because as you grow, you need to be able to share the files. So for us in Box, which is similar to Dropbox, there's our work large folder. Within that, we have active clients, we have closed clients, we have potential clients, we have, admin items, we have marketing items, and then within those folders are details. So let's say we go into the active clients, it lists all of the active clients, and then within each active client, the folder is organized the same way. So we have presentations is a subfolder in there, drawings is a subfolder, and specifications, invoices, I don't remember all of them. But then again, within that, there are more subfolders. So within drawings, there are construction documents, working documents, PDFs, and within those, there are archive. So that way, if one of my senior designers is working on a drawing and they're not here and I need to go in and update something, I can go into that. I know exactly where to go. I know where the drawing is because it's the same every time. And I know that it's in drawings and it's not in the archive. And so I know it's like the current one because it's not in the archive. And so I can make the update to the current drawing. I could go into systems all day long. We have so many different systems, but at the end of the day, what it's about is building a system that doesn't just work for you as an individual, it works for a team. And when you're building that system, don't just build for the size of team that you currently have. Assume that you're gonna be 3 times that size. So when I was first working with an accountant, I just feel like they didn't believe in us. Like they didn't think that I was gonna get that big. And so they were just trying to do it easy. And I was asking all these questions. And then the system broke because we did get way bigger than what they thought. And their little small system that they developed for us couldn't accommodate the sheer quantity of work that we were doing. So whatever the system is that you're building, make sure that it works for a team and it works for a team 3 times what you think you'll be. Obviously, I have a lot to say about marketing and systems. I could talk about it all day, but I hope that these key areas will help you to get inspired and make a few changes that will keep your business growing and successful, and maybe you'll have some tips for me.